Gene here. Welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, where every single week we answer the most common and uncommon questions about tapping so you can get the most out of your practice. You can eliminate self-sabotage and take the action that you want to take every single day. This is the last time I'm going to make this reminder. Back in October and November, we did a 5-part series on the most commonly asked questions that I get about tapping and EFT. You can go back and check that out in the archive. The first one was, how do I make it so that I actually use the tool of tapping? So I've created a really easy way for you to do exactly that. Every single morning you can receive for the next 9 months an email from me with a gentle reminder to go tap with a link to a tap along audio and a tapping script. When you sign up, you actually have access to all 248 audios right away. So you can dive in and use any of them that you want right now, and you'll get access to that nice little reminder. If you'd like to access it, all you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/daily. That's tappingqa.com/daily. If you sign up for it, it's less than 19 cents a day for you to have access to all of those amazing tap along audios. Also, I would encourage you to visit tappingpodcast.com. I was looking through the stats of my show and found out that more than a third of you don't actually receive the show when it comes out, and only go find the show after you receive the email newsletter or you're searching for a particular topic. If you'd like to be in a situation where every single Wednesday morning you immediately have the podcast delivered to your smartphone, to your tablet, be it Apple, be it Android, be it through Spotify, you can do exactly that. For instructions on how you can get the podcast delivered to you right away every Wednesday morning, right when they come out, go to tappingpodcast.com and simply click on the link that makes sense for the device that you would like the podcast to go to. This is Gene Monterastelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 241, originally aired December 12th, 2018. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Today, we're going to talk about and tap about when we do something that hurts someone else and how we can use tapping to respond to that. Before we do that, every single month, those people who are supporting the Tapping Q&A podcast by going to tappingqa.com/support, one of the things that they do is they end up supporting some small business owners somewhere in the world so they can continue moving forward in some small way. This month, the contribution went to Luisa. Luisa is a fisherwoman in the country of Panama. She was seeking the microloan so that she can purchase some new nets and so that she can do some renovation on her house so that she can take care of her grandchildren while her children are working during the day. So a big thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the Tapping Q&A podcast. If you would like to receive some amazing bonus podcasts, some really great gifts as we move forward, and after the first of the year, and we have a bunch of interviews rolling out, you'll get bonus podcasts from a lot of those guests where I spend some extra time on the phone talking to them. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support. That's tappingqa.com/support. If you're listening to this on your smartphone right now, all you need to do is go into the show notes, click the link to support the podcast. If you're listening to this on the website, you will see right above the player a little link that says support the podcast. You too can support our endeavors to bring a little goodness throughout the world, and you can receive some amazing bonus content as well. tappingqa.com/support. So this week's podcast is something that is a little more personal. How all of this came about. I was in a situation where I made a sarcastic comment to someone who I'm an acquaintance with. They're not a close friend, but the truth of the matter is it doesn't matter if they are a friend or not. I made the comment in passing. About 10 minutes later, this person pulled me aside and said, I really didn't like that. That hurt. And once I had the opportunity to properly apologize, because when she told me that, we were in the middle of something in a public place where I couldn't do that in a good, clean way. And about 35 minutes later, I did get a chance to apologize. What I said was that sarcasm is not funny. It is mean. It shouldn't be done. I'm sorry for doing it. It was unkind. And then I moved on. But I didn't move on emotionally because I recognized the fact that my carelessness and my thoughtlessness was a painful thing to someone else. And it was something that was easily avoidable, and it was something that I shouldn't have done. And even though I had expressed a sincere apology and did everything I could to make the situation right, it certainly didn't sit well with me. And it gnawed at me for the next 48 hours. And as I think back on it now, it's still a place of something that I'm really not proud of. I know better than that. I've recommitted to eliminating sarcasm from my vocabulary. But there are times in our life, either intentionally because we're caught up in an emotion or unintentionally because we are being thoughtless, we do things to hurt other people and we can feel bad about that. And so what we're going to do today is we're just going to do a little tapping around that particular thing. This is very much going to mirror a lot of the tapping I did in those 48 hours because I tapped on this multiple times, trying to get myself to a place where I was having a proportionate, well-informed emotional response to all of this. And we're kind of move through this in 3 phases. 1, not wanting to cause pain to others. 2, feeling like a failure because we have done something we know we shouldn't have done. And 3, giving ourselves permission and space to learn from that experience. So you might not have something at the front of your mind where you've hurt someone, but I am willing to bet that somewhere along the way you have said or done something that is still hanging with you, where you really wish you could make it right. And so this is a great opportunity to take some time and some space to tap for that. So tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And just move from tapping point to tapping point as you repeat after me. I recognize my actions have hurt someone else. I recognize my thoughtlessness has caused pain. And just because I didn't want to hurt the person, and just because it was a consequence of thoughtlessness, doesn't reduce their pain. Their pain is real. Their pain deserves to be recognized. And I need to take responsibility for causing that pain. I hate being in a circumstance where I hurt others. I hate when I make choices that makes it more difficult for others. I wish I wouldn't have caused this pain. And I commit to doing what I can to make it right. I know better than this. I know I shouldn't have acted in that way. I feel like a failure because of that fact. I know I have failed in this particular moment. I want to be better than this. I think of myself as a better person than this. I need to act better than this. I give myself permission to learn from this moment. to recognize the fact that I can and should make better choices. Even though I can't change the past, I can make sure the past does not impact my future. I can make sure I learn from the past to make better choices in the future. This mistake is a challenge for me to do better. This mistake is a challenge for me to be better. I give myself permission to do exactly that. Even though I can't take this moment back, I give myself permission to be a new person in the way that I move forward. I challenge myself to act better in the future. And I commit to accepting that challenge. So this time through, as I worked through that tapping, as I tuned back into the instance, the pain came back, but it dissipated quickly. And that's because this is something that I tapped on multiple times, and it's been a little more than a week and a half, 2 weeks now, since the incident itself. But when we fail in this way, particularly when we fail in a way that we hurt others, it's really easy for us to be hard on ourselves. And on some level, it's a good thing that we are hard on ourselves. Because that part that's being hard is motivated by us wanting to be better. But it does us no good to just beat ourselves up and beat ourselves up and beat ourselves up. That we have to move away from simply self-flagellating ourselves for making a bad choice, healing that so that as we move forward, we can be more thoughtful, we can be more deliberate. Instead of being afraid to move forward, because we're afraid we're going to make the same mistake again, it's possible for us to move forward in a way where we can have confidence, where we are stronger, where we are better. So this was super personal. I have no idea if this is something that is helpful for you. It's the thing that has obviously been at the front of my mind very, very recently. If you're having a conversation with someone in your life and they mention the fact that they feel really bad about some choices they've made, please pass this episode along to them. Obviously, don't go storming into someone's life saying, you screwed up, you need to tap on this. But instead, if you have conversations where people can connect with this, please pass it along. Also, just share the podcast in general. The reason why I always ask you to do that is because the most common way people find a resource like this is because someone like you has passed it along. I was at a conference over the course of the weekend, and I had made a podcast recommendation to a friend of mine, and he walked up to me and he said, thank you for recommending that show to me. It's changed my life. I loved it. And it wasn't my podcast. It was something else that someone else produced. So if there's content that you consume that is useful, be it from me or anyone else, do your loved ones a favor, be an ambassador for that work and pass it along. If you have any questions or comments, if you have a topic you'd like us to cover in the future, please let me know. Some of the best shows we've ever had have come from recommendations from people just like you. I've already done 3 interviews that I'm going to share with you after the first of the year with people I did not know exist before doing the interview with them. But because of recommendations from my listeners, I was able to reach out and they turned into some amazing interviews. So let me know who I should be talking to. Finally, if you haven't done so already, go to the website, tappingqna.com, sign up for our free 10-part guide on how you can use tapping to eliminate self-sabotage. I've been receiving a lot of great feedback from folks who've downloaded it recently. There's audios, there's videos, there's scripts, there's articles, really easy, useful tools that will make a difference right away in using tapping in your daily life. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Monterastelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyrighted Gene Monterastelli, Tapping Q&A 2016. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Monterastelli or Tapping Q&A.